How about supplements? There's a lot of advice that people get for what they should take, and natural, unnatural medicine, all that kind of stuff. But specifically for a lot of maybe vitamins and minerals and things like that you don't get out of your normal diet, are there some that you guys think are kind of if someone's listening or watching, the top 3, top 5? Yes. I know every person's different, so that's kind of a dangerous thing to say. Yeah, everyone, here's your. But in your experience, are there certain things that maybe people aren't getting that they could take that'll really help them?
Yeah, I definitely always suggest people to take a multivitamin, and from a reputable brand, such as Now Foods. They're actually NSF approved, so Olympians can use them. So don't just go on Amazon and type in multivitamin for men and then just buy the cheapest one or the first one or the one with most reviews. Actually make sure they're actually going through the channels of approval of nutripharmaceuticals. And so I say a multivitamin because we live busy lives. We don't always eat nutrient-dense foods 3 meals out of the day. And that's a good baseline, I think, to start with to get that minimum requirement.
Right.
And then also SBO, soil-based organism probiotic, where they incorporate these organisms from the soil that is around the world, and they really help your gut grow good and bad bacteria. So we need a balance. It's not just getting a probiotic. A lot of people eat yogurt. They're like, oh, it has probiotics in it. I was like, oh, your yogurt has dairy, has loads of sugar, mostly dairy and sugar, and then a little bit of maybe 1 or 2 cultures. But get one that's a wide spectrum, and that will just help your gut balance. You need kind of an 85% of good, 15% of bad. That way your good soldiers that are fighting for you in your gut are constantly okay, there's bad out there. I'm training in case one of them replicates too much, I know how to fight them off and balance back, right? So that would be the baseline. And then the other ones would just be really dependent on what the current issues or problems someone is facing. If it's sleep or stress, I always say adaptogens are good because they help regulate your cortisol levels. If your cortisol levels are too high, they can help you bring them down. If they're too low, they can bring them up if you need it. That's a good one to incorporate. A lot of them, people can use them as superfood powders, but just make sure it's a reputable brand, I would say. And for sleep, sometimes people use magnesium or glycine to help them. It really depends on what they've tried already in order to dial what we should try next, basically, for supplement wise.
Yeah, I think I would just bounce off of that. I'm a firm believer in vitamins and minerals, and the companies that I use generally split them. So a vitamin supplement and a mineral supplement. So vitamins you're taking in the morning, minerals you're taking at night. And, minerals are going to help you sleep, like magnesium. So I kind of look at that recommendation rather than taking something that actually incorporates all of them at once. And sometimes actually there are certain things you can't take with other things, but they're still in that one a day. I didn't say that out loud. Not to say that's a bad brand, but it's not the one I choose. And I would say for the folks who show up, and I love your comment about, fighting cortisol, but also the, allowing the body to find its own resources to not only train well, but also fight well. And then I would say there are a lot of women who show up with symptoms of depression who are low in omegas and low in D3. Those are just, they show up a lot. And so I will tell people, next time you're at the OBGYN, just simple blood test, get your D3 checked, because it's so simple to restore. And there's really no downside. If you're low on that, you take some, you actually feel better. And it is associated with actually decreasing symptoms of depression. I love emu oil, and I'm not just a fan, I'm definitely a consumer. And so I don't do well with fish oil, but I can take emu oil, and it's a great source of omegas, and it also tends to decrease depression symptoms. So, again, is it symptoms of depression, or is it just poor nutrients or low in nutrient? Yeah, hard for me to tell. All I can say is those symptoms that we associate with depression tend to get better when those things are in balance.